Hey folks, my name is Jason Morgan, and today I'm going to talk to you about how do we when debugging an issue, how do we get some help from the folks over at Buoyant with the problem we're seeing with the application. So I'm going to start. I've got a view here on my screen of my Linkerd cluster. Specifically, I'm going to look at my prod cluster and try and figure out what's going wrong. I've got an application called Books app that's misbehaving. So let's dive in a little bit and see what's going on here. So if we scroll down, we can see, details about our control plane, overall resource utilization in the cluster, the current health of Linkerd, which in our case needs some attention, but that's going to be out of scope for today's video. We hop over to our topology view, and here we can see all the applications running on our cluster. And right away, we can see that we have some red on screen, and red in the default view indicates that you've got a degraded success rate. So let's go zoom in on one of these workloads in this application. I can see that I have the traffic generator application talking to my web front end. The web front end talks to both authors and books, and then books and authors talk to each other as they send some data back and forth. We can see right away that from books to authors on port 7001, we're seeing about a 50% success rate. So something's going on here, and we want to find out more. First off, I can grab my author service here. I can press this little button to get some more detailed information on that workload itself. So I get some high-level metrics, and we can dive down into a deeper view of metrics by pressing this view metrics button or full metrics button. We can see some details about the cluster and the app version, any relevant Linkerd configuration, get details on the pod, get details on the containers within that pod, as well as the clients and dependencies for this environment. So while this is useful, it hasn't got me to the point of where I can begin sending my diagnostic bundle. So let's see how we go and do that. We hop over to the data plane tab on the left, and then we can see all the proxies on this cluster. Now we're going to filter down to just the books application. The books application being the one that we're looking at here. We see I've got all my pods, including my authors pod. We see some details about that pod. And here on the right, we've got this little life preserver. If I press that, that will build and send a diagnostic bundle over to Buoyant so that we can begin troubleshooting the issue together. That's been our overview of how do you get help with an application using Buoyant Cloud. I hope this has been useful, and I'll see you next time. All right, see ya.